Hi, I'm Gretchen Steidel. I'm sharing with you today a series of mindfulness practices. This is the first in this series that I've designed in particular for change agents who want to develop a little bit more self-awareness that can support them in the work that they want to do in the world. But it's useful for anyone, whether you're a beginner or an experienced meditator, to challenge yourself with these new practices that can help you develop a greater sense of awareness on the inside, in terms of your mind, heart, and body, and also with respect to the world around you and the relationships that you build and the environments that you are in. So we're going to start with just some simple guidance around general meditation practice, and then I will invite you to experience this first practice. What you're going to need before we begin is a timer. You can use your phone or even a kitchen timer, because I want this practice to be able to be used for as long as you would like. So rather than recording it for a specific period of time, I'm going to ask you to pause in the recording, and then you can practice as long as you want on your own, and then hit play again when you're finished to hear the conclusion of our daily practice. So we'll pause here so you can go and get a timer, and then I will begin in just a moment. Okay, now that you have your timer and are ready to meditate, let's start with just some basic instruction. When you are preparing to sit for a practice, you want to sit comfortably on a chair or a cushion or on the floor, whatever feels best to you. And we sit with our spine with your spine straight, as if you're sitting in a way that is noble, or like a string is holding you from the very top of your head upward. Now, you can close your eyes if it feels comfortable to do so, or you can just gaze softly at some point in front of you with an unfocused gaze, so you're not looking at anything in particular. It's usually useful to close your eyes to help you focus more inward. We want to make sure in particular that nothing around us distracts us while we go through these practices. So as you're sitting, you want to try to sit in a way that is alert yet relaxed. So not so tense that you feel rigid, but not so relaxed that you might fall asleep during this practice. In essence, it's a balance between being engaged in the way that we want to be consciously engaged in our life, and also in a place of letting go where we aren't necessarily trying to control everything. Now, as you find a place that feels comfortable, you will also over time begin to notice your discomfort. Your feet might fall asleep, your back might hurt, and that's okay. You can certainly move if you need to scratch your nose, to make yourself more comfortable, or you can challenge yourself to just sit with that discomfort, knowing you're not going to be in this position forever, and just notice it, realizing that we don't always have to push away the discomfort that we experience when it arises, because ultimately things do tend to change. So I'm going to give you some instructions, and then when you feel ready to practice on your own, then you can hit pause and continue with your timer. Now, for this first practice, we're going to focus simply on noticing our breath, the way in which our breath is showing up exactly as it is, no need to be changing it. Take a moment to take a breath with complete awareness. And as you breathe, notice everything you can notice about your normal breathing. Notice the feel of the breath in your nose or mouth. Notice as it continues in through your throat. In fact, consider how far into your body can you still feel your breath moving. Notice how fast you're breathing. Notice how deep you're breathing. Notice any place that you pause in your breath. Perhaps it's at the top of your inhale or at the end of your exhale. Notice any temperature differences between the in-breath and the out-breath. Now, if you're noticing your attention is drawn away to thinking about something, which is completely natural, just notice it. You might even want to say to yourself, "Oh, there I am thinking again." And then bring your attention back to your breathing. As you notice your breath, see if it feels stuck anywhere. Notice if it changes over time. Continue to bring this exquisite attention to everything that is happening as you breathe. Now pause this video and set your timer. Start with just 7 minutes. 7 minutes is the average time of a coffee break. A little less than the snooze button on our alarm clock. Just take this moment now to breathe, and we'll be back in a moment. Now that you've finished your timed breath practice, I invite you to make a drawing. Draw what you experienced of your breath during this time period. A whole cycle of breathing in and out, and how that felt to you, what it might have appeared like to you. There's no right way to do this, but try to do a new drawing every day over the course of the next week as you practice noticing your breath. And at the end of the week, look back across all of your drawings to see if anything has shifted for you, anything new that you noticed, any insights that have come to you from the practice of being mindful of your natural state of breathing. And at the end of practicing this practice for 1 week, then log on for my next mindfulness practice for week 2. Thank you, and be well.